Behind me is the oldest structure on CIA compound. Known as the Scattergood-Thorne Conferencing Center, this 4-story Georgian Revival house was built in 1926 and was actually privately owned by 2 amazing women, pioneers of the American labor movement, who defied the gender expectations of their time. They didn't work for the CIA, but they lived here on the secure compound for many years. The former owners of this house, Florence Thorne and Margaret Scattergood, both worked for the American Federation of Labor and are credited with significant contributions to the American labor movement, like improving women's rights in the workplace and child labor laws. The women lived on the estate for a decade before federal agencies started to look to purchase land. They wanted the land around this house and the land on which the house was located. But these were not the type of women to just sit by and wait for something to happen, and instead were proactive. And they made a deal with the US government, one where they could purchase the property, but that the women could remain living on it until they both had passed away. In the 1950s, CIA Director Dulles was looking for a location for a new headquarters building to move CIA out of DC. He needed a spot that was easier to secure but still close to policymakers, and felt the land around this house was the perfect location. Construction was about to begin on the new headquarters building, and Margaret and Florence were about to get new neighbors. In 1973, Florence passed away at the age of 95. CIA Deputy Director for Administration, which is now the Directorate of Support, Harry Fitzwater, grew very concerned for Margaret's safety, and so he directed CIA security officers to check on her during their daily rounds. The CIA always tried to be a good and helpful neighbor. Margaret visited headquarters once when she was the guest of honor for a lunch with Director Casey. And over the years, agency officers became friends with Margaret, and they would stop by after work to help her with her yard, pick up grocery lists to do her shopping, and on the holidays, the CIA would send special meals. Sometimes officers would just stop by and sit in rocking chairs on this porch and chat with Margaret about life. This porch is still a favorite spot for CIA officers looking for a moment of quiet in an occupation where there's little quiet and lots of stress-filled days. In 1988, over 25 years after the CIA moved in as her neighbor, Margaret passed away at the age of 92. The land and the house now belong to the CIA, and over the course of several years, there were numerous proposals for what to do with the property. Eventually, the security canine unit moved in. Those wonderful dogs did quite a number on this house, resulting in the decision to move them to a new location and restore the home to its original historic state. In 2003, the house underwent a complete renovation, turning it into a much-needed conference center. The house is now used for training classes and special events, but within the house, there's information on Florence and Margaret and the life they built here. CIA officers who never had the chance to meet Margaret and Florence can learn more about who they were, their contributions to society, and their forever bond to CIA.